Application is C-2610, Eastern Equity Partners, LLC, 1040 North Shore Road, Revere, Mass., requesting a special permit from the Revere City Council to allow a residential apartment use within the Central Business District at 29, 35, and 43 Foster Street.
Council.
Good evening, Chair Silvestri, members of the Zoning Subcommittee. Attorney Brian McGrail on behalf of the applicant Eastern Equity Partners, LLC. Jamie Russo is here on behalf of the entity this afternoon as well. As I'm sure you recall from our appearance before the full City Council, our project involves 29, 35, 43 and an unnumbered parcel on Foster Street, which we propose to redevelop into a residential apartment community. My client is seeking a special permit pursuant to Section 17.16.040 of the Revere zoning ordinance to allow residential apartment use on those combined properties that are situated in the Central Business District within the city. Since appearing before the full City Council, we've appeared before the Zoning Board of Appeals on this matter, which has now granted their necessary relief for the project to go forward on their behalf. The project will replace an existing lumberyard with modern residential apartment community, eliminating associated truck traffic, equipment noise, deliveries, and bring in new housing and new residents to the area. We believe, as we stated before the council, this is an opportunity to redevelop an underutilized property where the lumberyard is, improve the neighborhood, support nearby businesses, and strengthen the Broadway Central Business District as a whole. We appreciate the favorable reception received from the full City Council back on July 27th in the Zoning Board of Appeals, and we thank the subcommittee for considering this project. We respectfully request support of the subcommittee this evening, and we're happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Councilor.
Thank you.
Any board members? Councilor Agenzio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've voiced my support of this project several times. A great project. I drove by the lumberyard the other day, and there were all sorts of forklifts and trucks and contractors, so I'm looking forward to it, and it's in my ward, and it has my full support. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Kelly.
Thank you. So I'm not going to get into the weeds on this too much, but I do have to say I was contacted by several residents. I've seen a slew of comments on social media. I respect the views of those who support the project, but I have similar concerns of the residents who contacted me. And basically, in a nutshell, it boils down to density and cumulative impact for me, and whether this particular level of residential density is appropriate for that specific location. It's a small corridor. It's already heavily traveled and congested. It serves the Hill School. It's adjacent to the fire station. And soon the building across the street is going to be home to the new Regional 911 Emergency Communication Center and an Early Childhood Developmental Center. I understand the argument that replacing an existing lumberyard will actually reduce congestion, and that you've emphasized that residents will not receive residential parking permits. But whether or not residents receive residential parking permits will not eliminate the traffic generated by a residential development of this size. There'll be traffic from visitors, Amazon, UPS, deliveries, contractors, maintenance vehicles, moving trucks, emergency response vehicles. All of that traffic is still going to exist. And most importantly, this type of activity extends throughout the day, the evenings, and the weekends, whereas the type of activity we're seeing from the lumberyard is commercial vehicles that operate generally during business hours only. So for these reasons, and the cumulative impact on traffic, congestion, public facilities, and the concerns expressed to me by residents, I'm going to have to oppose this. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Any other councilors? Okay, Madam Clerk.
Chairman, there are 13 conditions that were submitted from Frank Stringy to be adopted if the special permit is awarded.
In the matter of time, if we can just let those.
Did waive the reading?
Yeah, waive the reading. And then ask a roll call, please. Favorable recommendation, sorry.
Shall the zoning subcommittee offer a favorable recommendation to grant the relief requested, subject to the conditions submitted by Frank Stringy? Counselor Argenzio?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Cogliandro?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Guarino Sawaya?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Kelly?
No.
No, and Chairman Silvestri?
Yes.
Yes, the special permit has received a favorable recommendation, which will be forwarded to the City Council this evening. Next application is C-2611, Eastern Equity Partners, 1040 North Shore Road, Revere, Mass., requesting a special permit from the Revere City Council to allow a residential apartment use within the Central Business District and to alter and extend a non-conforming structure to enable the appellant to construct an 85-unit residential apartment building at 40 Foster Street and 310 Broadway.
Counselor?
Good evening once again, Chair Silvestri, members of the zoning subcommittee. Again, for the record, Attorney Brian McGrail here on behalf of the applicant, Eastern Equity Partners, LLC. Again, Jamie Russo is present this afternoon. As you heard at the full council meeting, this project involves properties at 40 Foster Street and 310 Broadway, where we propose to preserve the existing commercial uses while adding residential units to an already developed site. My client is seeking a special permit under 17.16.040 and 17.40.030B of the Revere zoning ordinance to allow the residential apartment use within the Central Business District and the alteration and extension of existing non-conforming structure for substantially different purpose and substantially greater extent is detailed in our application submittal package. No relief for this project was required from the Zoning Board of Appeals. It's fully before the City Council. Unlike the prior proposal that we just talked about, we are not eliminating the commercial uses on this site. We are actually adding housing to an established commercial property. Importantly, the existing commercial building tenants may remain on site. The result is a complementary mix of commercial and residential uses that makes efficient use of an existing infrastructure and strengthens the Central Business District in this area. Once again, we appreciate the favorable reception that we received from the full City Council on this in our initial hearing on July 27th, and we respectfully request support of the subcommittee in a recommendation of favorable approval. And thank you again for your consideration. We're happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you. Any board members? Counselor Genzio?
Thank you. Again, I want to voice my support for this project. It keeps the commercial component. I think some residential infusion into this area to help the businesses along Broadway will go a long way. I did receive one complaint from a person that was talking about density, but it was several streets away. I haven't received any complaints from direct abutters or anything, so I don't think there's opposition from the direct abutters that I know of. So they have my full support, and I urge the zoning committee to vote in favor. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Kelly?
I do have a question. There are 42 parking spaces at this site, correct? Are any of those allocated for the residential units, or are they going to be just for the commercial?
Jamie Russo, Eastern Equity Partners, 1040 North Shore Road. All of the existing parking for the commercial, the present commercial use is going to be maintained. We're adding an additional...
Yeah, there's approximately 33, and we're going to have 42.
Yeah, so there'll be an additional 9 spaces that haven't... We've reallocated the additional to maintain with the commercial use as well. We don't believe we'll need it. And after some time, if we determine that we do not need it, then we will allocate some parking to the residential.
So again, so I'm clear, at this time, have any of the 42 spaces that exist currently been allocated for the residential units?
No.
Okay. Thank you. So unfortunately, I did hear from residents, I don't believe they were direct abutters. Well, actually, not direct abutter. But residents who were opposed. Nevertheless, they are taxpayers in the city, so I have to take their concerns into consideration when deliberating something like this. And
We are as well, Counselor.
I understand.
We're taxpayers.
I understand. I'd just like to
Okay.
read my statement. If
Okay,
you'd let
that's
me.
fine. I just,
If
you
you'd
make
let
a
me
statement like
continue.
that. I mean, that's...
Mr. Russo, please.
I got
No, I
calls,
just-
I got calls from residents in opposition, that's all I'm
Absolutely,
saying.
and that's
Counselor.
okay, but the fact that they're taxpayers.
End
doesn't-
it back and
Well,
forth,
I
guys,
wanted to
please.
make the distinguishing factor that they may not be direct abutters, but nevertheless taxpayers. That was my point, and I will make it.
Yeah,
Thank you. And I will continue with my statement.
please don't point,
We
Counselor.
also want to see a revitalization and vibrant commercial district on Broadway with thriving businesses. We all want that. My issue is that I'm not convinced that this proposal is the right way to accomplish that. With the previous proposal, I was contacted by several residents who had a host of issues with this size of a project in this specific location. Specifically, I've seen a slew of comments on social media in opposition as well. I'm giving consideration to that as well as the arguments in the applicant's presentation in support of this proposal. Broadway already carries some of the highest traffic volumes in our city. And again, whether or not residential parking permits won't eliminate the problem, won't be given in, they won't eliminate the problem because we've got traffic generated by residential apartment buildings like this constantly from delivery drivers and the like. I just said that in the last proposal. So the added congestion here is what is a big concern to me. And I don't believe the argument that this is going to revitalize Broadway. I like the argument, but I'm not convinced that an 85-unit apartment building is the best way to accomplish that. Revitalization should strengthen Broadway, yes, but without having to add an extra burden on density, which creates additional pressure and burdens on traffic, congestion, public infrastructure in the surrounding neighborhood. So I won't be in support of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Any other counselors? Okay, Madam Clerk.
Chairman, there's several conditions, 13 conditions. In the interest of time.
Interest in
committee
time,
will
we'll
the
waive
readings.
them.
Okay.
And in favorable, and a vote in hopes of favorable.
Shall the zoning subcommittee offer a favorable recommendation to grant the relief requested, subject to the conditions set forth by the city planner? Councilor Agenzio?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Cogliandro?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Guarino Sawaya?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Kelly?
No,
No. And Chairman Silvestri?
Yes.
Yes, the special permit has received a favorable recommendation, subject to those conditions, which would be sent to the council this evening.